Hi guys, and welcome to the Millwall vs Sunderland match review. So we did just get away with a 1-1 draw against Millwall, and to say that the only positive I can really take from that game is the fact we didn't lose just shows how far we've dropped in recent weeks. If anything, I think Millwall potentially deserved to come away with all 3 points in that game. And again, with no disrespect to Millwall, you know, we were almost en route to a third defeat in as many games, all against teams that were in the bottom 4 or 5 at the time, which, you know, again speaks volumes in how far we've dropped. Defensively, we look horrible at times. The same old story as usual in terms of the final third, looking hopeless, looking toothless, and just not threatening whatsoever. And the likes of, well, Tony Mowbray, you know, we've got this one system. It doesn't work when it's figured out. We don't have a plan B, and all Tony Mowbray seems to do is just throw different players at this same shit system that doesn't work, and that's his plan B. His plan B is, you know, on the hour mark, I'll throw 3 or 4 attacking players on the pitch, and that's it. And that's all he's got. But the tactics, the system, nothing else is changing. And it just shows the lack of mobility in terms of his tactics, which it's getting to the point now where I'm starting to ask the question, should he or shouldn't be here? Because it's that bad at the moment. You know, the only thing, you know, we know what he can bring, Tony Mowbray. He's brought this young group together. He's brought this sort of togetherness with the group. It's a good group of very, very young lads, and I'll give him that. Total inexperience throughout the side. And they do put on a show and bring us some really lovely football at times, but you need another game plan other than get it to Jack Clark and try and win a game that way. And, you know, whoever we have up top aren't getting the delivery, aren't getting the service anyway, but Burstow did start today, and he looked poor every time he got the ball. And Millwall, physical side, you know, if we have any form of physicality in our side, I think it could be a different game, but, you know, Burstow, he's getting pushed around like a child. He was just so weak coming onto the ball, pushed off it so easily, embarrassingly easily at times. You know, in the middle, you know, we just weren't great. It was just one of them where Millwall, for the first 15 minutes or so, don't get me wrong, I was relatively happy. We had a decent press going, really going for it. And it weren't just a case of just getting it to Jack Clark. We were trying to work things out down the middle, and we were trying to put balls in the box. But then as soon as they put any form of pressure on us, we just fall back. And it's almost like our muscle memory is like, right, okay, fall back, let them do what they want, and then we'll just put it to Jack Clark, see what he can do. Everything goes out the window. It is like muscle memory. The second anyone puts any pressure on us, which Millwall were, and they did have threats of their own, we just go back to the same boring shit, and we're not looking threatening at all. There is no, I can't see tactically what we're trying to do other than get the ball to Jack. I can't see it. I can't see nothing. You know, we're hell-bent on keeping Trey Hume on that right-hand side, although I think Huggins has looked better when he's looked on that right-hand side. At times, I really, really rate Trey Hume. This isn't me slating him. But I think we're just hell-bent on sticking Niall Huggins on the left-hand side of the back four when he looked out of position a lot at times today. Going forward, I really, really like Niall Huggins. I think he's probably one of our better fullbacks. I think he's very, very sharp on the ball, but defensively he got caught out a number of times just so we could accommodate Trey Hume just because he can play as an inverted fullback. And that doesn't help in games like this at all. It doesn't matter. It's cancelled out in games like this totally. So it made absolutely fucking no difference whatsoever whether we had an inverted fullback or not. Didn't matter. But eventually they do break the deadlock. And you could argue deservedly so. I haven't even looked at the stats. Somehow I guarantee the stats will say that we've had 15 to 20, 25 shots. And I can't remember barely any. I can't remember any. Do you know what I mean? After 20 minutes, I can't remember having a shot. We looked marginally dangerous, like I say, in the 15 minutes, but then as soon as they started to deal with us and tried to understand what we were doing, and we were piss easy to suss, then that's the end of us. Then we're done, because we don't have a plan B, as I say. But yeah, they did break the deadlock. What started to happen was, and we've seen it a handful of times, is the likes of Ballard or O'Nien. It was Ballard this time. He's come flying out. He got involved in a challenge that he didn't need to get involved in at all. They were picking it up from quite deep. He's gone into a challenge, so he's left a gaping hole in the middle. So he's gone into this challenge. He's hurt himself in the process, so he's on the floor. They immediately shank it out to the right-hand side. And then Luke O'Nien should be marking his man. He was marking his man temporarily, and then he just thought, fuck it, totally left him. Ball's put in the box, and it's a tap-in to make it 1-0. And again, it was probably deserved, but it just showed Luke O'Nien. I sing his praise, but I'll always give him, or any player, criticism when criticism is deserved. And he's been horrendous in recent weeks. Like I said, with that goal, it was horrendous. There was no one else to mark around him. No one else. All he had to do was stick with that one man, and he's got lazy and he's left him thinking, oh, someone else will do it. That's laziness. That is just laziness. It's passing the buck. 1-0, half-time. Second half, we come out, somehow unchanged from that absolute shout was the first half. Don't know what Tony Mowbray seemed to think, yeah, actually, we're on to something here. Well, fuck. We were toothless. We had nothing about us at all. Anyway, we're going into the second half. Again, not impressive whatsoever. And eventually does the usual, just rings the changes, throws everything at it. It's so predictable. Everyone can see it from a mile off. He brings off the one strike we did on the pitch, albeit someone who wasn't making any contribution at all. And he just throws a load of attackers at it. Throws a few attacking midfielders. Roberts comes on. Dak comes on. Bradley Dak. Oh, fucking hell. Pritchard comes on. I wanted to see him. Pritchard again, straight away. He's trying to ping it into the striker that isn't on the fucking pitch anymore. Do you know what I mean? We need a striker. Pritchard is eventually giving the service that we need, and there's no striker on the pitch. Oh, it baffles me. It really does baffle me. Meander towards the later stages did come on as well. He was trying to muscle his way into the game, but it was just too late, really. But we get a penalty, and at first, on a few angles, it looked like he'd just taken Clark down. On an angle from behind, you can see that the defender does actually get a slight toe on the ball, but does take Clark down with him. I can see why the referee would give it. But this referee, anyway, he was pissed off for both sides, by the way. I will admit he was pissed off for both sides. But a penalty is given. Clark steps up. It just goes under the keeper, so we're very fortunate there. Towards the back end of the game, after we do make it 1-1, it's still back in Millwall's sort of favour of momentum somehow. We didn't carry on with ours. We should have kind of gone with the momentum and fly at them, and we didn't. But there's a couple of sort of errors at the back that I'd see Bradshaw would come on one-on-one with the keeper. And Pato made himself big. They had a goal disallowed, which would have made it 2-1 to them, which it was right, to be fair. They had a shot from the edge of the box, took a deflection, looped over Pato and hit the far post, come back to Bradshaw, who rifles it into the net. But when that first strike was hit, he was sort of stood on the edge of the box, and our line was a lot higher than that, so he couldn't really complain. He was having a pop at the assistant, but on the replay, he was 100% offside. But yeah, we've seen it out to 1-1, and I'm not going to sit here thumping the air with no disrespect to Millwall, because they could have easily run away with the game today, easy, but I'm not going to thump the air with happiness, considering only a matter of weeks ago we were fourth in the league, and now we're absolutely going to shit, and we're not looking, no signs of improving. The only thing that is a slight improvement is that we didn't lose today, which says something, and again, no disrespect to Millwall, they'll be fine this season, absolutely fine. They were where they were before the game started, and we've played teams in the bottom 5 or 6 for 4 or 5 last 3 games, and we got 1 point from them. It's not looking good. It's not looking promising, and a shift in tactics that needs to, or a system. It needs a system change, because every manager looking to go, okay, well, this is what they're doing. They're playing with, they're struggling to get a striker involved, so clearly they're trying to go out the wide. That's not working. Then, well, that's not working. What do they do next? They throw Bradley Dak and all the attacking midfielders on, and they remove strikers anyway. That's it. That's everything we've got. It's so easy, and it's so predictable. It's horrible to watch. In terms of a solution, I can't really think of one that I don't get paid for at the top of my head. But I just think a system change needed, maybe just a reshuffling of the pack, maybe a slight formation change or a tweak, just to freshen it up a bit, to make it so not as predictable. Because again, if Jack Clark's playing poorly, I've said I'm boring myself. Jack Clark plays poorly, or he can't get himself too into the game, then that's it. Without his penalties or him trying to get us the byline and winning us things, we don't have anything. When Roberts come on, he looked really, really threatening. He did get himself to byline himself a couple of times, and he balled it back to no avail. But that's pretty much as far as we got in terms of threatening them. We didn't. I think Ballard, it was pulled back to Ballard in the sort of penalty area, penalty spot, should I say, and he should have put it in the back of the net, and he's put it over. So it weren't for, we did make that chance, but I think Millwall will probably feel slightly aggrieved with this one. 1-1. There we go. I'm deflated, as you can tell. It's just not good to watch. It really isn't, because it is all well and good when we've got this free-flowing football, everyone's getting involved, everything's going well, but as soon as we face this side who has any kind of physicality and has a shred of tactical nous to know what we're trying to do, we're cancelled out, and then we just, we've got a load, then it's just essentially men against boys. And that's what it becomes very, very quickly as soon as that initial head-to-head is won. And it's just poor at the moment. It really is poor, and I think I can't see how long this could go on for. Yeah, you might say on paper, it's just 3 games, but again, the calibre sides we come up against, we need to be doing better. And I think if we have another couple of games like this, then KLD's going to have a real head scratcher, because he's not going to be happy with what's going on the pitch at the minute, because it's piss poor, it's predictable. And there are players that I think on the pitch that should be doing a hell of a lot better. But either way, you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care. Stay jammy.